I see somebody getting out of the car over there. Hello, hey, David, Dr. David Reams.
Hey.
Come in for just a minute, please. I got to ask you a question.
Oh, okay.
You realize I'm blessed. I've been here a year now.
That's right.
Been a year. Time's been fine.
We blew our horns in the parking lot not too long ago for you.
That's right. That was a blessing too. But it blows me away to think of all that we're doing here. You know, we worshiped together for 6 months, and then COVID came, and we've been separated. We're doing the drive-in worship, and that's been a blessing. But anyway, I'm trying to learn. You know, won't be long. We're going to have this new directory.
Oh yeah.
And
that got delayed by COVID, but I hope it's soon.
It's close. Trust me, it's very close. And so I'm gonna start putting more names together with faces and identifying people, and that's going to be good. But I've been making some notes here, and I wanted to ask you a few questions. Been a lot for me to learn in a year, especially in a powerful ministry like this. We're doing so many things to reach out and help people. In fact, I was thinking of Psalm 130, verses 5 and 6 says, "I wait for the Lord, my soul waits, and in His word I do hope. My soul waits for the Lord more than those who watch for the morning." And I think how appropriate that is at a time we're all separated, you know, and everybody wants to keep this hope. Yeah. And one thing that gives me hope and encouragement is the way so many people are serving here at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Kingsport, Tennessee, and beyond Kingsport. But what I want to ask you about, a few things here. Family Promise. You know, I've got to be involved in that some, but we're a host church, right?
Absolutely.
And I think we're doing it quarterly.
And we've done it for a number of years now. In fact, that was one of the driving forces for our renovation when we added bathrooms with showers so that people could stay overnight.
Excellent.
So that tied together and enabled us to do that ministry.
That makes sense. And you know, I know some of the first ones I worked with were James and Carolyn Chandler.
Oh yes, they've been loyal and faithful to that program. A lot of other people, though, have served with all that we have done, with the hosting, the meals, the morning shift, the evenings, all that sort of stuff.
And it takes a big commitment. It takes a lot of families to help with that. You know, people have to spend the night and to serve,
do laundry, and all kinds of things that's behind the scenes work.
So this is what I remember. I think it's a week at a time. Over a quarter they'll be here, and they're fed dinner and breakfast. And one thing that I didn't realize is the gift certificate is given to the families for the Habitat Resale Store.
And that helps Habitat as well.
Yeah.
So double help there.
So and it blesses me to think to help them purchase furniture. Yeah. And they're trying to get their feet on the ground, and it's a blessing. The HTLC church food bags, that's been a really cool thing, you know.
And that's one of our newer things, to get that started and to have something that members can put in the hands of people who either appear here at the church or sometimes you see them out, you know, on the street corners and so forth.
Right. And so when people are hungry, we're able to do something, make a difference right then. And the VBS, I see the Jungle Gym over here, and it reminds me, I know Laura Mitchell is passionate about that, and others, and a program that can help working families for a long day. Yeah,
long day, and gets a lot of people of the church involved too. I mean, there have been times when it looks like we've got as many members as kids, and that's not to say we have few kids. We have a lot of kids, but Laura really recruits an army to cover all of the things, the classes and the supervision, the cooking, the snacks, the playtime, music, all of those things for the kids in those Bible school programs.
Yeah, I think there's been 100 kids or so involved.
We have had huge crowds at times, and community kids.
Community kids, that's right. So it's not just kids here at the church, but it's reaching out in the community, and that's powerful. The Meals on Wheels, you know, the first one that come to my mind, I've learned, I believe it's Jim and Betty Dickert.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and that's one that really, when we came here little more than 40 years ago. I remember when that got started.
Wow.
And it was like, can we do this? And I guess after 40 years, the answer is yes, we can. There's been a lot of time spent in it. I mean, it even helped justify expanding our kitchen, because we started in a much smaller kitchen, didn't have the nice institutional kitchen like we have now.
Right.
And we've cooked a lot of meals. Jim and Betty have been involved way back. I remember Don and Jean Good were heavily involved, coordinating with the Kingsport Meals on Wheels. Thelma Jones.
Wow.
Thelma, such a saint and such a devoted member of this church, helped with the scheduling and got the milk for every Sunday and the menu planning and just all kinds of things that Thelma was involved in with that program.
So I made a note here, 30 to 35 meals a Sunday or something?
Yeah, and over, you start multiplying that out, it's been a lot of meals over these 40
A lot of meals
years.
for a lot of years.
And we've added animal food to it here recently.
That's right.
And you know, that's, for a lot of these people who are homebound, their animals are a big part of their life. And
Exactly.
you know, when they're sharing their food with them, you know, that kind of suggests maybe we ought to do a little something extra, and I'm glad we've started that.
Yes, and I'll tell you, we're happy with that too, because all these cats and dogs, and it's important, you know. I always say, if you want somebody to love you all the time, get a dog, and that's important. So let's see, Salvation Army.
Oh, yeah.
Members serving lunch, and I had an opportunity to do that once myself already.
Goodness, and to me, June Baker comes to mind. She
June
was
Baker.
the chief arm twister for many years about getting people to go down there and help serve those meals.
Wow.
And June's moved on to a retirement up north somewhere with family, but I remember her serving with that for many, many years.
Wow. We need to put all this in a history book somewhere, because I tell you, it's powerful how a name lives on like that, even beyond the person in the community, and God's work continues to grow. Let's see, members purchases for school book packs and children time, and Christmas time.
Christmas time. Oh yeah, the undies Sundays, as we started to call them, and then the book packs, backpacks in the fall. You know, it's hard to think about homeless people in the community, and then you start realizing that they're either homeless kids or they're kids whose homes are marginal in terms of meeting their needs for things that every one of us takes for granted, like socks and underwear and gloves and hats when it's cold weather, or a backpack when it's time to go to school.
Right.
And this ministry's met that need both here locally as well as in Dickinson County.
Yeah, well, it's interesting when I'm getting ready to walk into church on Sunday morning and see all those underwear hanging down
On the garland in the narthex at Christmas time. And the objective for years was always to see if we could get enough to break the garland and make sure it fell down.
That's
and
powerful.
it happened a number of times.
Wow. You know, one thing that I'm blessed to have been asked to be a part. I just had my first meeting last night. The Kingsport Homeless Board,
Yeah.
And we're trying to do some things to make a difference, because you know, cold weather's coming in, and there are people that don't have a place to be, and so that's I'm looking forward to seeing what I can learn. Right now I'm doing a lot of listening, but it's a strong board there, so I'm thankful to be a part of it. Other things that I've listed that I've learned so far: dollars for Kitchen of Hope. Dollars for Hunger First, dollars for Hope Haven for the homeless shelter for men and women, dollars for Oasis, now that's a women's shelter, okay, the dollars for the Providence Medical Clinic for medical care for people who can't afford it. I think that's the one I got a chance to go with Dr. John Chapman, right here of our own church, who serves and helps people there.
Yeah, John's big in the volunteering for those kinds of ministries.
That's powerful.
As other members of our congregation have been over the years.
I'm going to tell you, you know, it's that servant heart that I feel like, that servant attitude, I think that God first sent me here for that, and the evangelistic spirit here, you know, and just serving. You know, we love God by serving others. And let's see, dollars for friends in need, for health and dental care for people who can't afford it. Dollars for CASA, a court-appointed special advocate. Yeah. And that's volunteers to help children who've been abused or neglected,
or they're in
experienced that.
situations where there's legal situations going on
Okay.
amongst the parents, the kids, maybe potential foster situations. Connie Steer, longtime member of our congregation, who once again has moved as a part of her retirement, but she was the executive director of CASA for many, many, many years, and helped to raise awareness and recruited a lot of CASA volunteers from Holy Trinity, as well as the community. Very worthwhile program that's established there.
That's wonderful. And then let's see, KCMC. Now I know our own Bob Bergman is a court-appointed. No, not court-appointed. He's a counselor.
Counselor, yeah.
A counselor for it. Bob was the first one that told me about KCMC. Of course, I thought about Kentucky Fried Chicken, but that's not
different.
that.
That's different. But
they help with
very
rent,
worthwhile
utilities,
expenses that families struggle with, and it's funded by churches here locally.
Okay, and wow, I've learned a lot in a year. Oh, and Stephen's ministry.
Oh yeah.
That's something that has been a passion of mine, and a very confidential ministry, but a ministry that helps people in a lot of ways. Loretta Nishke and let's see, Brenda
Rivnak,
and
going on back, I think about Sharon Jacobs was involved in that. There's someone else, and the name's escaping me. Yeah, very, very confidential, but also very helpful for people who are involved in those relationships, who are facing something, let's just say challenging for whatever reason, because it can be all kinds of things. It means a lot just to have someone that you can talk to, know it's confidential, someone who's not a trained counselor, but yet they've got enough training that they can be helpful, and they can help guide you and help you sort out your own thoughts.
Right. As I think about that, I think about the prison ministry I've been involved in for years, and I was just recently sharing 4 key words: listen, love, and that's really
that
what
kind of applies to Stephen's ministry.
It applies to Stephen's ministry. Yeah. So, but anyway, so I'm trying to learn.
Well,
and,
you're making progress. We're pleased to say there is a lot to learn, but it's one of those things where we probably always could do a little bit more.
That's right.
And that's the challenge for us.
That's right.
That's
so,
the challenge.
Well, thank you. You're helping me a lot.
Okay.
And,
all right.
And
keep shooting the hoops. You're doing good.
Thank you. Well, we're gonna figure this out one day, and in the meantime, wow, got to be with you, God, at the prayer labyrinth here recently, and now here on the basketball court. We're blessed here, Holy Trinity, and wow, I'm really encouraged, and I'm thankful for Dr. David Reams and many other people who serve here, and it's a blessing to be here, and I'm encouraged just to be a part of it, and wow, it really is a wonderful ministry. We are Holy Trinity Lutheran Church, helping transform lives in Christ.